fixing our educational system and ending class distinction and class division.
Yeah, whatever. I'm all for that, okay? But those reforms too, the same arguments are going to come up. People are going to say, no, you have to have the live performance artists. Somehow the traditional, archaic way of doing it is the right way. The old square wheel. People are in love with the square wheel, and they just aren't going to move to the round one, and that's going to fuck the human race. And class, obviously I've done what I can say on the subject. Yes, let's get rid of the extremes on the top and the bottom, and let's have our little market, free market bullshit competition somewhere in a rational range. There, problem solved. But people want the lottery. They want to be billionaires for some dumb-ass reason I can't fucking understand.
Those are the solutions. Not your freaking virtual reality.
Yeah, well, it's still not a solution, okay? I mean, reality still creates a huge problem. We have too many. It's unsustainable. And our satisfaction is too expensive. Besides it being something you only can get for a little while and only sustain for a little while, it's very expensive, and you're not going to be able to provide enough pretty women, and you're not going to be able to provide enough warm houses, and you're not going to be able to provide all that the human being needs to live a satisfactory life. So reality fails.
Being a crazy person.
Yeah, well, whatever. That's what I'd like to say to you. Stop being an asshole and open your mind. You know, crack the little thing open and let your fucking imagination grow just a little tiny bit, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But if you're going to stay closed in some archaic notions of what life is and what consciousness is and what we actually are accomplishing here, yeah, there's no discussion.
Got it. That it would be a treatment for the mentally insane. But the thing of it is, virtual reality is controlled by your brain. Your brain is controlling the virtual reality.
No, you got that wrong. It's not how virtual reality works. Virtual reality creates a virtual world for you to live in. Now, you can choose what world you want to live in. You play the game for 2 or 3 years or 2 months or whatever it is, and then you can switch games. You go back. Reality is unsuspended, reintegrated into your consciousness, and then you make another choice if that's what you want to do. Or at least you just play a game forever. It doesn't really matter. It can be built into the game itself. You know, the game can say, game over, would you like to play another? But yeah, it's like when you're in a dream state. When you're in a dream state, shit can happen, and if you were in the reality, you'd say that would be impossible, but in a dream state, somehow it seems possible, and you accept it. And you know, whatever. So but you're not going to be creating your virtual reality. You're going to be living in it.
You're living in this world that you don't have to have any money or anything. You can do what you want, but your brain has to be able to control it. And a fucking retard wouldn't be able to control their brain in order to reap any benefit.
Well, I don't know why you even went here, but it's like I said, you're still not getting it. A retard could live in a virtual world where they're in the Special Olympics and they win all the medals and they're super retard, and so they would be just you know, they have balloons and lollipops all over the place. They could live in balloon and lollipop land, and they could be deliriously happy. Bunny rabbits and lollipops and balloons. So I mean, like I said, you're just not getting it. It's virtual reality. That means it's a virtual imitation of reality that live in. It still has rules. It's just that the rules aren't the same rules that they are in reality. The physical laws no longer apply. The laws of society no longer apply. The rules and structures of all these limiting factors no longer apply. So you can play fantastic games and go fantastic places and do fantastic things because there's no limitations.
That'd be the only person that could probably suit. Someone who has a sound mind already, who's just fucked up, who's paralyzed for life. In that case, yes, it would be really cool.
Yeah, well, what you're not getting is we are all paralyzed by reality, this physical, limited world. We're not going to travel as much as your phantasmagorical science that you believe in. We're not. We're not going to travel throughout the galaxy and meet other people and do any other that crap. It can't happen in this physical reality. It can happen in virtual reality. The Star Wars scenario, we can live that kind of you know, fantastic, you know, intricate and interesting fantasy future in virtual reality. We are never going to live it as a reality. So, you know, that's the argument here, and I just don't, you know, like I said, you're just not even trying to get it. You really aren't. You aren't trying.
Virtual reality comes from? It comes from your head. All right? Your head. The head that you have there in Mendham. All right? Now, I'm not going to pretend to know you know everything about your life, but...
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, you can't bring a rational argument. You have to talk about my life. I mean, really, I've explained it, you know, in dozens now of videos, the logic defending it, and you're gonna bring this as an argument. That's like me blaming your eyeglasses for your mental defect.
It seems to me that you are a bitter old fogey.
Irrelevant.
Who wants to escape.
Irrelevant. I've only said in like 5 of the videos now, 6, 7, I don't know how many. Look, kill me tomorrow. It doesn't matter. It's not about me getting to virtual reality. It's about me realizing there's no other place for humanity. It's not going to survive any other place. That's it. And also realizing that I wouldn't want to live any of your fucktarded lives. Okay, reality sucks. You think you're accomplishing something, you're just running, you're a rat in a fucking goddamn maze. You're chasing the same tail for thousands of years. You're never going to catch the fucking tail. You're just going to keep chasing it, and you're just going to leave all the human and animal byproducts around you that are going to be the which you will ignore, you will wipe out with your I was happy, so it's therefore it's okay bullshit.
And you don't want to use drugs because maybe you've done drugs, you realize it doesn't really take you there, it just kind of makes
Yeah, whatever. Again, this is philosophy. You don't want to play by those rules, then fuck you.
you feel good for a little bit, and then you come back. You want to go away and not come back.
Again, just whatever. I mean, can't you deal with the fucking argument? It's not about me. It's not about what I want. It's what I understand to be the constraints, the reality that we exist in.
You want everything to be hunky-dory. You want it to be easy.
Well, I don't want it to be any not one little fucking tiny bit harder than it has to be. That's right. No waste. That's right. I want to take every single bit of fucking wasted suffering out of the equation. Now try to ridicule that as a rational ambition.
Alright, because you like the easy button.
Yeah, that's just cheap rhetoric. You're a fucktard chasing your own anus. You're not even chasing a tail, you're chasing an anus.
You can't stand it that the world is hard. That it is cruel.
Yeah, it's not that I can stand it. I have stood it. I'm not going to sit there and endorse it. I'm not going to sit there and use my rational brain and just contrive excuses for it and say it's okay because nature says so, because Mother Nature whispered in my ear that it's okay. I mean, what's your rationale? Look at nature and evaluate it. It's a DNA molecule, you dumb fuck, that has 2 ambitions, consumption and reproduction. Justify that as an excuse for living. That's it. That's all we've got. That's all that nature provides. So if you're going to come up with an excuse for being here, it has to be a little more elaborate than that's a brilliant idea. Because consumption and reproduction is not a brilliant idea.
Ooh. You're right. It sucks.
Yeah, right. It sucks. You say it and then you don't, but it doesn't mean anything to you. You just say it sucks, but I'm going to love it because I'm addicted to it, because it makes my dick hard. I mean, it's bullshit. Come up with a rational fucking goddamn argument.
But that is what makes life.
Completely irrelevant. Yes, it makes life. So what? It sucks makes life?
There has to be the dichotomy. It has to be the...
Yeah, there has to be bubonic plague, or there has to be the tsetse fly, or there has to be people in nursing homes for 10 years. No, of course it doesn't have to be. None of it has to be. All right? We decide to make it be. All right? But none of it has to be.
Juxtaposition of dark and light.
Yeah, whatever. That's a bullshit argument. Like I said, you can have desire without horror. You know, there's no justifying the excesses. You want to justify the excesses, the waste? Well, go ahead and try to do that. But I say it's patently irrational.
That's what makes art. Contrast.
Well, whatever. We're not talking about art, okay? Art is subjective nonsense. Art is saying I like the tail. It's not a philosophical argument. It's not a rational argument. It's bullshit.